In this heartwarming and often hilarious ride, you'll watch a man stumble through fatherhood and rediscover what family really means, starting with Trevor looking back on the reel of his life with his once very small family, made up of nothing but his wife and his daughter, a family that kept growing day after day. He remembers how New Year's Eve was always a family tradition they shared together. A year passes since the last video we saw, and everything about our hero's life has completely changed. He's living alone now. His wife has separated from him, and his daughter is living with her. We see Trevor waking up a few days before New Year's Eve, and the weather is extremely cold. It's painfully clear how bad his financial situation has become. At that moment, his ex-wife calls. It's obvious their relationship is still very respectful, and thankfully, they never had to go through family court. "I'm worried about you. The weather is freezing where you are." But Trevor reassures her, telling her the weather there is actually great, and that when she and their daughter come, the place will look completely different. She cuts him off apologetically and explains, "I'm sorry, Trevor. Sweetheart, my new partner wants to spend Christmas with me and your daughter for the first time." She even offers to pay their daughter's university expenses. When Trevor objects and reminds her that he's her father and that he's the one responsible for those costs, she responds calmly, "All right, do whatever you want. I was just trying to be considerate, knowing your circumstances aren't great these days." At that exact moment, Trevor receives an eviction notice for failing to pay what he owes. Yet he still assures her that everything is fine, that God is generous, and that she shouldn't worry. On his way to work, he sends his daughter a message, wishing her a happy new year, then heads straight into his job. He works as a supervisor at a school, and the administration informs him that he'll be supervising the New Year's Eve play and will be responsible for the child acting in it. Later, the principal takes him into her office and gently expresses her sadness, telling him, very politely, that this will be his last day. Trevor finds that strange. It's clear she misunderstood something completely. As they're preparing the stage decorations, there's a knock at the door. Trevor steps outside and finds a newborn baby left at the entrance. Without hesitation, the only thing that comes to his mind is that this must be the child who's supposed to perform in the play. The play begins. While things are running, Trevor checks his bank account, how much he has, how much he owes, and realizes he's completely broke. At the same time, he receives a call from a recruitment company. But when he hears the amount they're offering for just 48 hours of work, he's so shocked that he accidentally knocks part of the stage set onto the child. He agrees to go to London for the interview, as requested. Overjoyed by the opportunity, he happily shuts down the theater, excited for the new job ahead. But just as he locks the door, he hears a baby crying. Confused, he follows the sound, only to be stunned. Everyone has left. They forgot the baby. With no idea what else to do, he weakens under the baby's gaze, picks him up, and calls the mother who abandoned him at the school that morning. When the phone isn't answered, he decides to go her home to avoid missing his interview. When she opens the door, he's shocked to see that she's a baby. She explains that she never sent her son to the play at all. He was sick, and that the baby Trevor is holding isn't her child. Trevor freezes. He realizes the horrifying truth. He picked up the wrong baby. He leaves immediately and calls the police, explaining everything in exhausting detail, but they offer no immediate solution. He contacts another department. They take his information and agree on a time to collect the baby from him, overjoyed about his high-paying temporary job. Trevor refuses to let anything ruin his mood. He takes the baby home and packs his suitcase. The baby is lying on the bed. While Trevor hums to himself, distracted, he suddenly realizes the baby is gone. After a brief search, he finds him right at the edge of the staircase. The police arrive as agreed. Trevor is about to hand the baby over, but the child disappears again. He searches everywhere so frantically that the police begin to doubt his mental state based on the way he's talking. They leave him their card and tell him to call once he finds the baby. The child suddenly reappears. By the time Trevor grabs him and runs outside, the police car is already gone. He goes back home and tries calling the number on the card, but it's an automated message. The officer won't be available until after New Year's Eve. Desperate to resolve everything before his London trip, Trevor decides to take the baby with him and drop him off at the center along the way. On the road, the signal keeps cutting out. He retries multiple times until his phone battery delivery dies completely. In the end, he arrives in London and is stunned by the sheer size of the building. He tries his best not to reveal the baby's presence, but when he learns that the manager herself will meet him, he decides to hide the baby inside his bag. She doesn't notice anything strange. She guides him to the elevator and explains that the apartment he'll be working in is secured by a key card. There are only 2 copies, and one has been lost. She stresses that the remaining one will be with him and that he must protect it. When Trevor enters the apartment, he feels like he's walked into a palace, a massive luxury suite. All the while, the baby is still inside the bag. Trevor shakes it gently, pretending to play, trying to keep the baby quiet. The manager looks at him and asks if he needs to use the bathroom. At that exact moment, the baby makes loud noises. Trevor is in a situation no one would envy. He slips it away and leaves it behind. Relief washes over him. While the manager is showing him around, the baby crawls out of the bag and starts exploring the apartment. Trevor's heart nearly stops, terrified the baby might fall or get hurt, but the moment passes safely. The manager doesn't notice a thing. Trevor quickly grabs the baby and hides him inside a trash bin. Before leaving, the manager hands him the elevator key card again and reminds him it's the only one and that his job officially starts now. Once she's gone, Trevor enjoys the luxury and comfort around him, but the baby has other plans. The crying starts again. As Trevor tries to quiet him, the police call. He gives them his current address, and they confirm they'll send someone from London. He hangs up quickly to deal with the non-stop crying. He smells something strange. Diaper change. He searches the apartment desperately for a solution until he finds women's scarves in a drawer. He grabs one, pinches his nose, places the baby in the sink, and successfully finishes the job. He throws the diaper onto the terrace, but the crying continues. Then he realizes the baby hasn't eaten all day. He prepares formula, but it runs out and the crying doesn't stop. So he decides he has to go out and buy proper baby food. Before leaving, he realizes he must take the baby with him. The weather outside is freezing and he can't leave him alone. By coincidence, he finds an ice cap and puts it on the baby. He takes him to the supermarket and buys every type of baby food he recognizes. He remembers the days he cared for his daughter, even buying foods she used to love. On the way back, a policewoman calls him to confirm all his details and asks whether anyone has come to collect the baby yet. They agree on 7 p.m. and she repeats the time carefully, reminding him that tomorrow is New Year's Eve and they don't want any problems. Back home, Trevor takes care of everything and then remembers the most important thing: sleep. Thankfully, Trevor takes him to bed, lays him down, unpacks his bag. Most importantly, his daughter's photo. As he whispers "good night," he falls asleep. Suddenly, he wakes up to a scream he never expected. It's the baby. He tries everything, bouncing on the bed, walking through the hallway, anything imaginable. Trevor is overjoyed. He lays the baby back in bed, wishes him good night again. The baby smiles peacefully. Trevor steps away, and the crying starts all over again. Desperate, he looks for anything to silence him. All he finds is alcohol. He takes a bottle cap and manages to sleep for 2 hours. He wakes again, another scream, and another diaper change. This continues until he runs out of every woman's scarf in the apartment. Morning arrives. Trevor waits for the supermarket to open to buy diapers. Suddenly, he sees the baby climbing the stairs. He sprints, grabs him, and mutters to himself. Finally, the delivery arrives. Trevor struggles to respond through the intercom. The delivery man leaves. Trevor runs down, grabs the diapers, and leaves the baby alone upstairs. When he returns, he realizes the elevator key card is gone. Panic floods him. He imagines every possible disaster. Terrified and helpless, he decides to call the cleaning staff. They have copies of most key cards. He searches the reception log until he finds her name. Just as he reaches for his phone, he realizes his phone is upstairs. A message arrives on the bedside table. By chance, a resident enters the elevator. Trevor rushes after him, introduces himself, explains everything, but the man isn't interested. As he's about to leave, Trevor stops him and says, "I forgot the key card. I went to call the cleaning staff and realized I forgot my phone." The resident lets Trevor use his phone. The cleaner answers but explains she can't open the apartment without the manager's permission. When Trevor asks how long that would take, she says about 30 minutes. Trevor stays with the resident. Surprisingly, the man is completely different with his family: warm, gentle, loving. Meanwhile, the baby continues his daring climb toward toward disaster. Trevor waits anxiously for the call, staring at the resident's phone nonstop. At the same time, the child services worker arrives to collect the baby, but the baby is nowhere near. She leaves a message for Trevor, telling him to call when he's free or contact the police so they can reach him. The resident's phone rings. Trevor grabs it immediately, but it's the resident's daughter calling on video chat. They exchange greetings. At that exact second, the cleaner calls. Trevor cuts the video call, answers, and she confirms she'll be there shortly. She arrives and enters the elevator. Just as she swipes the key card, Trevor realizes that he left the diapers outside. He panics. In desperation, he jams the elevator door open with his shoe. It works, but the shoe keeps sliding. At the last second, the elevator closes. Trevor sprints after the cleaner. She's ordering coffee. He yells for her. She steps out of the cafe. Meanwhile, the baby has reached the top of the stairs, one step away from a catastrophe. Another resident enters the elevator with her dog. The dog immediately falls in love with Trevor's shoe. Finally, Trevor reaches the apartment. The baby is gone, but he hears him. He follows the sound and finds the baby stuck inside the washing machine. The baby falls into his arms. Safe. Trevor calls the center again and explains what happened. The worker arrived on time but left. He asks when they can send someone again. Later, his daughter calls him from the airport. Her flight is delayed. She tells him how much she loves him and says, "If we hadn't traveled, I would have spent New Year's Eve with you this year. I'm sorry." She hangs up. Trevor finally falls asleep. Suddenly, he hears someone entering the apartment. He rushes out and finds a couple with their baby, standing in front of the fridge, taking food. They panic when they see him. The wife explains nervously that they live in a storage corridor connected to the apartment. They were evicted and were only looking for food. They promise never to do it again. As they're about to leave, Trevor stopped them to hand food and baby supplies from the supermarket. When he turns around, they're already gone. In the morning, he realizes his other shoe is missing. On the street, a group of women admire the baby and ask how old he is. 3 months, Trevor answers. They tell him the baby looks much older. Quickly, he replies. He takes after his mother. When he returns home, the homeless couple thanks him and asks him to watch their baby while they step out. He agrees. Soon, Trevor is feeding 2 babies at once, rocking them to sleep side by side. Finally, the worker arrives. Trevor wakes instantly and hands her the baby. She takes a photo, signs the paperwork. As she leaves, Trevor feels like a part of him is being taken away. Before returning inside, his neighbors arrive to pick up their child. Trevor hands the baby back, telling them he slept peacefully. They look at the baby and realize it's not theirs. Trevor freezes. He gave the worker the wrong baby. Thankfully, he finds her arguing with the police over a ticket. Trevor tries to explain, but no one listens, so he opens the car door himself and takes the baby back. As he tries to return the correct baby, the worker drives off, thinking the baby is still on the seat. Then the manager calls. She informs him that the apartment owners have decided to spend New Year's Eve at home, and they don't even know he exists. She tells him to avoid any trouble until her assistant arrives so the owners won't discover she's been hiring staff behind their backs. She assures him he'll still be paid in full, but Trevor only cares about one thing now: the baby. He returns home. As he starts packing, the assistant calls. She explains she can't arrive on time and needs groceries urgently. She sends him a list via fax. The papers don't stop coming. Every sheet is filled with requests. Meanwhile, the worker realizes the baby is missing from her car. Back at the supermarket, Trevor carefully buys everything on the list. The cart looks like a baby train. At home, he's shocked by how excessive the orders are. Out of kindness, he shares some supplies with his homeless neighbors. On his way to the elevator, he finds his missing shoe. He stares at it in disbelief until the dog chases him again. Trevor leaves a note in the elevator. "I have your dog." The apartment becomes a shelter for everyone. The dog grabs a piece of meat Trevor was instructed to buy. Nothing can make it let go. Trevor even shows the dog a keychain shaped like a shoe. The dog swallows it. Panic. Out of desperation, Trevor tries opening the elevator using the dog. A miracle. It works. Relieved, he waits for the assistant. She calls again, delayed even further, and asks him to buy New Year's decorations, including a tree. The tree arrives. The baby watches in awe as Trevor decorates it effortlessly. Things finally start to settle. The job is almost done. The dog finally passes the key card. Trevor retrieves it, even in front of the confused dog owner. That night approaches. Another call from the assistant. She sends cooking instructions for the feast. Trevor, exhausted, prepares the entire meal meal alone. Everything is ready. Hours pass. No one arrives. He calls the manager. She casually says, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, the owners changed their minds. They're not coming." Trevor is crushed. All that effort for nothing. Then everything changes. The police arrive. The worker reported the baby missing. They realize the baby doesn't match the photo. Trevor invites them to stay, to share the feast. The homeless couple joins. The neighbor who lent his phone arrives to return the apartment key. Then Trevor receives a call from his ex-wife. Their flight was canceled in London. They're coming back. Trevor invites them over. The worker arrives for the baby. The apartment fills with people. Trevor explains that the tiny baby is the reason they're all together. They all eat, laugh, celebrate. For the first time in a long time, Trevor feels lucky until they realize the baby is missing again. They search everywhere. The original apartment owners show up, chaos hits one last time, and Trevor just about has a heart attack. And that's how we roll the credits on this wild ride. If you've made it this far, welcome to the family. Around here, we know that being part of this community is all about sharing those moments that make you laugh. So why not stick around, hit subscribe, and be part of our growing film family?